play that way. So there's been a lot of different decks sort of popping up. I'm really excited to see like prelims in a few weeks as well, and how the decks are going to shape up then, because 2-3 weeks into a meta is probably the most exciting, because the meta is formed, but there's still room for crazy decks that can break that meta. And so one player can take a completely different lineup to a tournament and win the whole thing because they next leveled the meta, so to speak.
Oh no, cool. I completely agree. Yesterday was a Watchstone day for me as well. I definitely was just birding a lot of my friends and stuff to see if they could make top 100 and just to see what decks were out there, kind of as like preparation for today. And I got to say, I'm a little surprised to not see Shaman a lot today, because I felt like at the top tables, it was a lot of Shaman, a lot of Patron, and then the two decks we just saw here. And there's a couple of different versions of Shaman too, and these decks seem pretty strong. So pretty surprised to see 0 of that so far.
Yeah, we might see some later. I'm not quite sure, but these two players, I think, judging by their lineups, it seems like they both favor control. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why. And since a lot of people are playing Shaman, maybe people are just trying to counter Shaman at the moment. So we'll definitely have to see. But it looks like Pacoima is going to throw out the Paladin once again, and Chessdude does have a Freeze Mage.
Yeah, and he's got the most, I think, important card in this matchup in his opening hand. I don't think I would ever mulligan Emperor Thaurissan in this matchup. Yeah. I think I would snap keep it in my opening hand, because this deck cannot punish you. I think Pacoima could stack his opening 3 or 4 cards and curve out in the first 3 turns and still not have enough pressure to really put Chessdude in a bad spot early.
Yeah, the thing is can the Freeze Mage damage get through
all the heal? Yeah,
all the heal, or can the Paladin draw into enough heal in time? So this match can be interesting. Well, look at this hand. I think Pacoima wishes he had this hand as his opening hand in the last game.
Yeah, I think he would have given up all of his cards in the last game for that one True Silver Champion that's sitting over there. That's the card that would have really held the whole game together for him last game. And I think what Chessdude's going to be looking for in this game is, it's like you said, just to kind of stay alive till the end of it. And I think he's going to be very greedy with this Emperor Thaurissan. I think you're going to see not it necessarily slammed on turn 5 with his coin unless his hand is good enough at the time. I think you're looking for the hands that have a lot of the burn spells in them. A lot of the ways that he can kill in 1 to 2 turns, because like you said, if he tries to do the 3-turn lethal with fireball you, ping you, set a secret, then do the same thing the next turn and then try to pyroblast you the turn after that, I don't think he can get through all of the healing that Pacoima has. So he has to probably try to do the 2-turn to 1-turn KO in this matchup.
Yeah, but this is a really great hand for Chessdude. Secrets are not as bad drawn in current Freeze Mage than they were a couple weeks ago in Wild, because you used to want to always pull your secrets from Mad Scientist, but now there is no Mad Scientist.
Right.
So in order to use your secrets, you need to draw your secrets. So they're not nearly as bad. Having multiples, though, maybe not the best, unless, of course, it's the case of 2 Ice Barriers versus a fast deck. But this is definitely not a fast deck. So I think you're right in the fact that Chessdude's gonna play this one pretty greedy. Wait until he has a lot of stuff. Freeze Mages, since they lost some cards, they can afford to use more Cycle. They can afford to put both Loot Hoarders and both Novice Engineers if they choose to, because they did lose that Mad Scientist in that 2 slot. So they can get to their power cards quicker.
Now, for Pacoima, what do you think he has to do to actually win this game? Because you talked about how he could not lose. He can heal a ton and maybe run Chessdude out of damage. But is there a way that he can just win this game earlier than that? That you don't have anything like Lotheb anymore. So can he actually mount enough pressure to ever put Chessdude in a spot where he has to start using his cards inefficiently?
I don't think so. There's so many just dead cards in Pacoima's hand. Maybe once he starts to get to the later turns, but there's even a lot of cards that just punish him. If he builds up a board and then plays Sylvanas, he risks his board dying to, you play your Doomsayer, you fireball the Sylvanas and force the Doomsayer seal. So there's a lot of cards that you can't play. Karen is great, but it's only 4 power. It's only going to hit in for 4 damage each turn, and it's going to stick around forever, but it's not going to be enough to sort of push through. It's sort of hard to say, and I just don't think so. Chessdude looks like he'll probably be able to mount enough damage. As long as he can get through the amount of healing, I think he should be fine. I think this matchup should be pretty good.
So you're saying you don't like drawing 2 humilities early in the Paladin versus Freeze Mage matchup?
No, they don't do too well. They don't do too well against loot hoarders and novice engineers.
I will say this: have you ever stampeded Kodo to Doomsayer before? It's a really good feeling.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is he probably doesn't even need Doomsayer. He can just wait to Flame Strike, and then his whole board is gone. Well, he's got double Iceland, so those are pretty good for Emperor Thorsan. Especially if he runs Archmage Antonidas. I wonder if he does run Archmage Antonidas. Some lists have it, some lists don't. It depends. We haven't seen a torch, so we can't decide either way yet.
Yeah, I feel like the best version of Freeze Mage hasn't, I haven't heard anyone say this is definitely the version you should be playing post standard yet. Like you should be playing Antonidas or you should be playing Torch, and I think this deck right here is going to be one of the ones that helps decide, how popular is this Death Rattle Paladin going to be over the next few weeks. And if you keep running into this deck where you're going to have to do like 50 damage in a game or 60 damage in a game, do you need something like Archmage Antonidas in your deck just to make sure you have enough damage to win?
Yeah. And even if somebody told me right now, this is the best version of the deck, I wouldn't believe them. It's too early, man.
You're a naysayer.
It's like the format's been out for a week, less than a week.
It feels longer, doesn't it?
It does feel longer, just because we've probably been playing way too much Hearthstone. But it's still too early, I think, to decide the definitive best. The meta needs to settle down a lot. I don't think we'll know best decks for a long time. Maybe good versions of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's tough to say. But yeah, here's Pacoima piecing together that damage. One damage at a time, he's getting in.
He's got this like little motley crew of ragtag, guys. They're like, we're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna get this done. And then, something like Flame Strike's gonna happen this turn and just sweep up this entire board. And it's like, well, I mean, we had something going on. But and it's just like we said earlier, this Emperor Thorsan, it's just gonna chill in this opening hand forever. He's got these 2 Ice Lances, he's got 2 Fireballs. These are great cards to get discounted. I think he's just looking for something like Frostbolt from here, and then you might see the Emperor happen there. But again, just there's no pressure for Chessdude to do this. So I mean, all of the pressure is on Pacoima to find a way to actually do something in this game. And I mean, look at the cards to the left of his hand. That's the problem. Is either Doomsayer, Double Humility, Consecration early, and these cards do nothing in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. And Chessdude is still pretty far off from finding enough damage, but just because of all the healing. But really, we only see one healing card so far in Pacoima's hand, and that's the Lay on Hands. And that's like a whole turn. I guess most of his healing spells are a whole turn. Ragnaros the Light Lord, even Forbidden Healing. But that's a lot of healing. Like Forbidden Healing, after a turn where your opponent just threw lots of burst at you, you can heal for 20. Yeah, that's just, it's absurd. So we'll definitely have to see it as this game goes on. I think Chessdude's going to want to find his pieces as quick as possible. He's playing this Emperor Thorsan really greedily, trying to find all the pieces, but he definitely is going to need them pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be forced into doing something sometime soon. I mean, he's starting to run out of space in his hand, and if he burns the wrong card, then there's a chance that like he might not be able to find enough damage. If he burns, say, like a Frostbolt here and can't find another way to activate Ice Lance besides using the first one, that could actually make him a few points short of finding lethal this game. So you may see him actually just kind of, I'm using quotations here, waste a Blizzard or something in one of these turns because he doesn't really need to clear up Pacoima's board too often. The fact that there's just going to be like 8 drops happening very soon. He's just going to be like one big minion sometime soon. Now, there is Ragnaros the Fire Lord in Pacoima's deck, which is an insanely good card against Freeze Mage. So if he gets into that, maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah. Well, the card that he decides to waste is the coin. So it looks like he's going to value these Blizzards and that Frost Nova over the coin, which seems like the right call. And there's an Equality, again, another card that he probably wishes he had in game number 1 that could have changed things. But at the moment,
if he could swap his draws from these 2 games, I feel like he'd be in a better spot in both of them. But these are the cards that he's been dealt this game, and it's looking pretty rough. And it's a bad matchup. I always love the freeze mage matchups where they feel they're so far ahead where they just get to waste coin, and it feels like such a taunt to their opponent. They're like, I know that I'm in such a position that I probably just can't lose from here, so like here's this coin for no value.
Yeah. And Pacoima sort of gets fed up, and he just uses this True Silver charge right away. And he's going to go ahead and play the Harrison Jones, so going to try and apply some pressure, but he's got to know. If Chessdude threw away the coin last turn, then you know that he's going to have some AoE spells, and it's exactly what he's going to have. More cycle again with the Loot Hoarder. He's going to get closer and closer to this sort of this critical point where he's going to have enough burn to where he feel like he can play the Emperor Thorsen.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm trying to put myself in Pacoima's shoes here, and there's 10 cards in Chessdude's hand. You're playing this Harrison Jones to get some damage in, and you're like, I'm trying to think of a 9 or 10 card hand combination on Freeze Mage that I can beat, and I can't ever come up with a single one.
Yeah. He's just got to get a bunch of Death Rattles out. He's got to draw Death Rattles for the next 4 turns, and then draw N'Zoth right after it, and have Chessdude whiff on everything. Have Chessdude draw like 5 secrets. No, he doesn't even have 5 secrets left in his deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's like the only possible way he wins from here is a crazy N'Zoth, like 3 turns from now. But like you said, I mean, there's chances Chessdude can use it against you too. If like you do Sylvanas at the wrong time, it could Doomsayer you in a good way as well. So I mean, this is just an uphill battle the entire game, and you got to give Pacoima some credit here. He's not just phoning it in. He's trying to find a way to win from here. He's battling hard. He's down 1-0. He doesn't want to give this game away either, but his back is definitely against the wall, and I love seeing him, the fact that he's still trying really hard here, because it's very easy to kind of just phone this in and give up from this spot.
He's being patient with his Kodo, too. He knows that whatever board that he has, he wants to hold on to as much of it as possible, because Doomsayer would blow him out of the game, probably. And he has managed to make some damage stick. Chessdude's down to 19, but it's really just scary. But now Chessdude's in sort of an awkward spot. He could Frost Nova Doomsayer. He can just ping Blizzard to clear the board. I think he's still trying to buy time here. I think that's just sort of the name of the game. There's not going to be much pressure, judging by his line of play. If he's consistent in his reasoning, he's not going to play Emperor Thorsan again this turn.
Right. Yeah, I think you just hit it right on the head there. He's going to just continue to be really greedy with this Emperor, and I think the first person I ever saw do this was Kaka. I remember there was like a game where he's playing Patron Warrior, like the OTK original version of it, and when it had Emperor in it, and he like has an Emperor, and he rolls into turn 6, and he has like not much to do, and he just like armor ups, like maybe plays some little crappy minion and passes, and we're both like, oh, why didn't he Emperor there? And then we realized it's like you don't have to Emperor on 6 when you have it and a full hand. You're looking for specific hand to get the game done with, and it just made a lot of sense. And you're seeing Chessdude do the exact same thing here. And Pacoima's going to get a little value off his Stampede and Kodo here, like you said. Just holding on to it for the right situation, getting to kill this Doomsayer is pretty good. And there's that card you talked about. It just came in Pacoima's hand, so maybe a little glimmer of hope.
Yeah, but what Death Rattles has he played? He's played the Tauren, the Infested Tauren, and that's it. It's the only Death Rattle he's played.
How do you like that card, by the way?
I think it's only good in the N'Zoth decks. I think most other decks have better tools. Like all the Cthulhu decks have the Crazed Worshipper, I think it's called.
The 3/6, yeah.
Yeah, then, Druid has the Dark Arakoa. Warrior has the new Bloodhoof Brave. So in all those slots, most of the classes have cards that are better. So like the only class that I'm seeing these in are like N'Zoth Paladin and N'Zoth Rogue. So it's a decent card. It is a Death Rattle. The stats are are decent for a 4-mana card. They're average. It's like a Yeti's worth of stats. So it's a decent card. I just don't like it in a lot of classes outside of specific N'Zoth ones. And
so with both Blizzards and a Flame Strike gone, Pacoima feels okay with just adding this Wild Pyromancer to the board and getting a little more pressure in play, as it is. And he's seen some Doomsayers gone, so we've gotten through a lot of the AoE effects out of Chessdude's deck now. Now a Torch is added to the hand, so it leads me to believe that there is no Uncle Tony in his deck here. He's going to actually use this Torch here to take care of this take care of one of the minions here, and he's going to draw an extra card here. So again, he's staying patient with his Emperor Thorson, looking to get the correct hand together to get this Emperor to proc off.
Yeah, he is risking overdrawing. If Pacoima were to, waste some attacks here and force Chessdude to draw 2, he could burn the next card that Chessdude would draw next turn. He might think that's worth it because he's sort of in a desperate situation right now where he doesn't have a clear win condition.
I think it's worth it, honestly. I think it's something you probably have to do. I mean, you have to take any small chance ever. Like, what if you were to burn his Pyroblast or to burn his Emperor Thorson? One of his
Alexstrasza.
Or Alexstrasza. Yeah, I was going to say, God forbid you burn an Alexstrasza. I mean, that's worth 15 points of damage in this matchup. There's a lot of times where Pacoima is just going to be at 30.
Yeah. So, it seems like it's worth it, and that looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So, we'll see if Chessdude can pick up the cards that he needs. 1 card burned is going to be what it is, and I'm pretty sure he would have liked to see one of those 2 cards burned. If it's going to be an Alexstrasza, it's going to be a big deal. 8 cards left. I'm sure that's one of the last 8. I mean, it's not super likely, but with 8 cards left. Oh my goodness! And I think, I don't know if Chessdude figured that he wouldn't be able to, that Pacoima just wouldn't overdraw him. That's a super risky play to make. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Chessdude in the America's Championship seemed like a player that didn't really make mechanical errors like that.
Maybe just didn't put Pacoima on making that play.
Yeah, maybe he just trusted in his 1 and 8. He trusted in his 7 and 8 odds to come out on the better end of that one. Because I'm pretty sure every card in his deck he would have liked to see drawn over Alexstrasza. That's rough.
Especially the Arcane Intellect. I don't think there's probably no chance he's actually playing this card anytime in this matchup. Now, this Forgotten Torch will put a second Blazing Torch into his deck from here. So he's got 2 extra Fireballs left in his deck from here. And I do like the way the Chessdude's playing this game other than, just overdrawing the Alexstrasza there. Again, he's waiting to kind of one-shot Pacoima. He's going to try to do 2 big turns in a row, but his main way of doing that with Alexstrasza is now gone.
Yeah, Alexstrasza, what it does is it forces your opponent to do too much stuff at once. Mm-hmm. They have to pressure you, they have to kill the Alexstrasza, and they have to heal all in one turn.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, now when Chessdude goes for his burst, he's going to be doing one thing that turn. He's going to be doing damage. So you don't have to do anything but survive as the Paladin. You don't have to kill anything off the board. You don't have to pressure because you know that your opponent's using their burst. So they're already on sort of a damage clock. And you just have to survive. So now that window for Chessdude is very narrow, and it's going to be tough for him to squeeze out a win, I think, now, as long as Pacoima picks up, 1 additional healing spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, I mean, if you're sitting in Pacoima's seat, you've got to be on top of the world now. It felt like you went from a spot where I can't win to where I'm actually winning now. I got the perfect burn card from here. I'm still pushing damage, and my opponent's just not doing anything. So, Pacoima's got to, keep himself steady here, not let his emotions go too crazy, because he went from probably the lowest of lows to the highest of highs now, but he's still got to finish this match out.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is just going to be a throwaway some cards for Chessdude. He wants to dig deeper in his deck, but he also doesn't have enough room in his hand to do it. So I'd imagine he's going to throw away a Frost Nova or a Doomsayer here just to make room. He does have 10 cards, so if he uses Arcane Intellect, he will overdraw, so he has to use a spell first.
I have a feeling maybe this Arcane Intellect isn't going to get cast this game unless some crazy stuff's going on. But yeah, I was supposed to say, I definitely agree with you. I think there's a chance that he just throws away a Doomsayer. Oh, he actually is going to just get the last 2 cards here. Okay, yeah, because he's going to throw away this Frost. That's right, okay. I do actually like this because he knows the contents of the last few cards of his deck, and they're all either damage or plus damage cards, like Blood Mage Danos or Frostbolts or Roaring Torches. So he's trying to get the Nut Emperor hand here.
So, yeah, I think his last 4 cards are double Roaring Torch, Frostbolt, and...
Secret?
It could be Ice Block, but I don't think you'd run 2 Ice Blocks. I mean, maybe. Probably Ice Block. Yeah, I know. I've seen a couple of Freeze Mage decks, standard Freeze Mage decks, that don't run a second Ice Block. But Yeah, so it's Ice Block, Frostbolt, Roaring Torch would be my guess. Is that enough damage? So that's how much damage is that total? All right, so Power Blast is 10. Double Roaring Torch, double Fireball is 24, so that's 34. Frostbolt, that's 40, 48 damage total with Ice Lances. That doesn't include any damage from pings or any damage from Blood Mage Thalnos. So that's a lot of potential damage.
Yeah.
But this
is where Chessdude's background is definitely helping out, because he's having to do so much math right now. I don't envy him. I'm pretty sure my head would just explode from this point if I had to actually play this game from the Freeze Mage part.
I think it is a one-turn kill. So let's count the mana first. Blood Mage is 1, Frostbolt 2, double Fireball is 8, and Roaring Torch is 10. So let's count the damage now. It's 7 times 3, so it's 21. Plus,
it's way more than 30.
Yeah, it's way more than 30. Yeah,
it's like,
so
yeah.
This is exactly what Chessdude was waiting for. Who cares about Alexstrasza? We don't need Alexstrasza. We'll just kill you from 30. Unless you're a control warrior, you're not going to win.
Yeah, Pacoima was so excited. He's like, he got the perfect burn card, and it's still not going to matter because Chessdude still had all these other burn cards, and he's gonna. I think it's like 34 here, right around there. So there's no way that Pacoima can actually get above 30.
I think it might be 36 because Frostbolt is 4, so Frostbolt will be 25. Oh, it's 35 damage with 2 5 damage Ice Lances. Yeah, so that's a lot. Wait, no. Yeah, no, it's 35. Yeah, or you could just 11 damage with Power Blast. Blood Mage Thalnos Power Blast.
He's anguished over having a Keeper of Voldemon, this Emperor Thaurissan. And then he's trying to think of the least amount of damage possible here. He actually he nets a life here, attacking it by humiliating it, because he knows that there's a very good chance he's taking 30 this turn.
Yeah. And Chessdude just last turn just leaned back into share. Okay, it is the second Ice Block. And now we just cue the music.
Yeah, point a bunch of stuff upstairs. Chessdude is going to take a 2-0 lead here in this match, and you got to feel for Pacoima. You got one of the matchups where he doesn't feel too bad in game one. You have a couple ways to deal with some stuff. If he drew a True Silver, he would have definitely been in that game. But man, his draws have been really rough so far in this matchup.
Yeah, and Pacoima might have just realized that he got a little bit overexcited when he saw that Alexstrasza burn. Mm-hmm. And that was just really well played by Chessdude. That's one of those things where just wait as long as possible. Make sure you have the guaranteed win when you throw down that Emperor Thaurissan, and that's exactly what he did. And textbook play. And now he's just got Warlock